technical expertise, calm and professional demeanor made her a trusted go-to person for so many in our district. Whether she was troubleshooting a complex issue or offering support to a staff member, she did it with grace and humility. She never sought the spotlight, but her impact was unmistakable. Tawanda will be deeply missed, but her impact on this district will not be forgotten. Please keep her and her family in your thoughts and prayers. She loved her family very much. Thank you. Vice President Stencil will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If I could have somebody move the agenda table, please. Moved by Mr. Maloney, seconded by Mr. Stencil, Vice President Stencil. Any additions, corrections to the agenda? Mr. Butler.
I'd like to add consideration of the TOSA positions that were eliminated 2 meetings ago, to reconsideration of that to the agenda.
Yeah, I'm gonna rule that out of order. It should have come through, it can come through at the 19th meeting. We'll do it at the 19th. We can add it to the agenda. It wasn't added to the agenda in a proper manner, and I don't want to get in the habit of adding things at the last minute. The only reason we added the code of conduct discussion last week that 2 weeks ago that Mr. Bonagorio put forward was because of the timeliness and throwing off the public hearing for the code of conduct if we would have waited to have that discussion till this week.
Point
So
of order, please, President.
I wasn't done talking.
Okay.
Mrs. Farmer?
Point of order, please.
What's your point of order?
My point of order is that due to lack of due diligence and when these positions were discussed, we warrant, and I think there's a responsibility that this board, it is a responsibility that this board reviews this in a timely manner that will then allow everything else to roll out, just like the code of conduct thing that you said Mark added for the purpose of timeliness.
I'm gonna rule your point of order not valid. Going back to Mr.
So I'd like to ask if there's people who would like to second this, and then we can overrule the chair's ruling.
I mean, there's,
Sean, if I
I'm
could,
gonna do you a solid here that I don't think I should do, but I'm gonna give you the solid that you want to appeal the ruling of the chair, correct? Okay, you need a second on that?
Second?
a second.
Second by Mr. Butler. All in favor of appealing the ruling of the chair? Those opposed? The motion fails. Mr. Butler, back to you.
So what I was going to say, I appreciate your point about the timeliness that requires a last-minute addition to the agenda. If the motion, or if the item were to be approved, that we would re-add these positions, it feels to me like that is a timely question because the district would then have to react to that re-addition of these positions to be effective with the start of school. So it does feel to me like time is of the essence.
I mean, the problem is, I guess, but the way, my reason for ruling it out of order is basically nobody's prepared to really discuss this tonight. Nobody's done, I mean, I have a couple legal questions that I'm gonna need answered beforehand because I think there's some, there's a potential PERB violation that occurred here and that we could be committing a PERB violation as a district for direct dealing. I think there's some issues that we have to look at before we can really have that conversation. And I don't know if Assistant Superintendent Larson is in a position to answer those questions with confidence. I mean, if she is, I'll let her, but I mean, I think there's a couple questions that we have to get answered, and that's why I'd like us to do our due diligence, and I'm happy to add it to the 19th for a discussion of the board where everybody's prepared to talk about it. Everybody has their talking points. I mean, you know, obviously you were prepared tonight, but I know I wasn't, nobody else was. to talk about this evening, because it wasn't on the agenda. So, I mean, I will add it to the agenda when we have board officers at our next meeting, and we'll talk about it the 19th. I mean, that's the concession I'm willing to make. Otherwise, I mean, I don't want to put Assistant Superintendent Larson on the spot with making that decision, if this is a PERB violation or not, for direct dealing. Oh, Mr. Bonagro?
A point of information relevant to this discussion, is the board going to be given a study session regarding the information?
Not
Okay.
prior to that meeting, no.
Okay. But we will be getting one at some point?
At some point along the way, we're going to have a full study session on this, but it won't be in time for Mr. Butler's request for the 19th.
Thank you.
Anything else? So, any other additions to the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor of the agenda? Trace, you against? Oh, okay, 9-0, you are for or against? 8 to 1. 8 to 1, okay, I just want to make sure. All right, or GTA comments, I don't see anybody here from GTA. Anybody from GASA? Anybody from Gus? Agcept, Teamsters? All right, Residents Forum, welcome to the Legion this evening. If you'd like to step right up to the microphone. Mr. Woodbury?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Whitberry. I'm the first vice commander over at the Greece American Legion Post, and we're here tonight to talk to you about American Legion baseball. This is the centennial, as you can see, of American Legion baseball, and an occurrence that had never happened before took place just a week or so ago. The state of New York had their championships here in Rochester. As a matter of fact, at RIT, our post was the host, and not only were we hosting, we won. We are the state champions. Our team left this morning to go up to Shrewsbury, Massachusetts for the regional championships. They're all excited. They're a great bunch of kids, and we're very proud of them all. And I really don't have a whole lot other than that. We do have a gift. We have shirts for the board to match ours, so.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you so much.
ladies would pass them out.
Can we do a picture with you guys? Do you mind? With the trophy and
Well,
a
you
picture?
got $10?
I probably do. I probably do.
No, that would
So-
be wonderful, yes.
All right,
We'd
so
love
we'll
to.
come around to you guys and we'll hold our
Thank you,
shirts.
thank you.
Okay?
Tomorrow morning at 9:30 is the first game.
Come on up, Dart. Hold up the shirts. Everybody smile, everybody get in. Jump in, come on. She sang 3 times.
I also like to thank Greece Central. They donated their fields, Athena, so a lot of the games were played there. And I'd like to thank Superintendent Smalley personally. Thank you.
All right, moving on to staffing. Can I somebody move the staffing to the table, please? Moved by Vice President Stenzel, seconded by Mr. Butler. Any comments, questions, concerns on staffing? Seeing none, all is in favor. That passes 8-0. Moving up, Assistant Superintendent Larson, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. So not on this evening's staffing, but we did approve a new assistant principal a couple meetings ago, and he was unfortunately out of town, but we did want to make sure that we introduced him to all of you and to our community. So I'd like to congratulate and welcome assistant principal for the Early Learning Center, Mahmoud Gadamenli. Mahmoud is a proud Greece Central School District educator who has served in the community for the past 18 years as an ENL teacher at Long Ridge Elementary School. Most recently, he served for 2.5 months as the interim assistant principal at Long Ridge, further deepening his commitment to instructional leadership and student success. Mahmoud holds a master's degree in TESOL, as well as a school building and school district leadership certifications, all from University of Rochester. A former English language learner who has lived the American dream, he is deeply passionate about equity, excellence, and access in education, and now brings that vision to his new role as assistant principal. Throughout his career, Mahmoud has actively contributed to the school community beyond the classroom. He has served on the district's attendance and multicultural committees, led professional development sessions for colleagues, and stepped in as the substitute ENL summer school leader, experiences that have further shaped his leadership perspective. He strongly believes that every student possesses a unique intelligence and is committed to uncovering and nurturing those strengths within school culture. His favorite part of the job is greeting students by name and forming strong, authentic connections with them. He and his wife, a 20-year Greece teacher at English Village, are proud parents of 3 boys, ranging from middle school to college, all active in travel sports. Outside of school, he enjoys playing soccer and volleyball and watching football. Congratulations, Mahmoud.
We're gonna have you do some pictures now. You can do first with your family, and then we'll have,
Maybe you should, though.
Yep, well, one more, we'll have, Shannon, Kelly, Mark, and Jeremy.
I just want to take credit, I did hire. Jeremy hired me 18 years ago as an ENL teacher. He was an assistant principal. Now we reconnected.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 2.02, tenure. Can I have somebody move the tenure to the table, please? Moved by Ms. Lykes, seconded by Ms. Seaman. Any comments, questions, concerns on tenure? Seeing none, all's in favor? That passes 9-0. Moving on to the ACCEPT MOA. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Mrs. Fels-Rao, seconded by Mr. Butler. Any comments, questions, concerns on that? Seeing none, all's in favor? That passes 9-0. Moving on to the GTA MOA's additional FTEs. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Maloney, second by Vice President Stencil. Comments, questions, concerns on that? Seeing that all is in favor? That passes 9-0. 2.05, non-unit rate sheet. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Ms. Lykes, seconded by Ms. Seaman. Any comments, questions, concerns on that? Seeing that all is in favor? That passes 9-0. Moving on to 2.06, the Jewel Agreement. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Bonagorio, seconded by Ms. Lyke. Any comments, questions, concerns on that? Seeing that all is in favor? That passes 9-0. Moving on to 4.01, property tax warrant. Superintendent Smallene.
Well, I was going to give this presentation, but I decided to ask Romeo to jump in and do this.
It'd probably be more entertaining if you did it.
Thank you for the opportunity, Superintendent Smallene, and very much appreciated. So for tonight, we are going to finalize the 25-26 budget development season with the, hopefully the approval of the tax warrant. before we get into the presentation, in front of each of the board members, you should have a revised presentation and a revised tax warrant memo. The original ones that were provided to you in the board packet needed to change, and the final one is in front of you this evening. Part of the reason, or the reason for the change, is as we develop the budget, we have to report our numbers to Monroe County, who then sends those numbers up to New York State. New York State then finalizes and provides us back with what on the levy, the $128 million that we are collecting. The state provides us with a breakdown of how much of that will be collected by the town and how much of that will be reimbursed to us by New York State through the STAR program. As of last week, that process had not completed, so we gave you our best estimate. As of yesterday or this afternoon, we think the process has been completed in terms of settlements of tax certiorari's that you saw. But Monroe County is not yet complete. So, one additional point before we go into this. One is, as you recall, over the last couple of board meetings, we brought tax certiorari settlement agreements to the board. The board approved them. They have made their way through the court. Those settlements now need to make their way to the county and to the final numbers. What that does is one of the tax certiorari's, for instance, as an example, if an organization that was assessed at $3 million for their organization, their assessment changed to $1 million, that $2 million difference brings down the taxable assessment number to the district, which means the rate changes. Between the county and the tax certiorari's, we believe we've got our final numbers, and that's what's been reflected in both the documents you have in front of you today. Slight changes, but basically the slides are the same. Also, at the end of before the end of the evening, once the tax warrant is approved, if you could go see Lori and make sure that you sign, each board member signs off on it. So the request this evening, as I mentioned, is to have the board approve the 25-26 tax warrant at $128,072,028. It's a 2.06% increase over the tax levy from last year, and it complies with the property tax calculations provided by New York State. And again, that is 13 out of 13 or 13 out of 14 years that we have been within the tax cap calculation. As I was mentioning, in the levy amount, the levy is $128 million, as you see here. As best we know, the tax collector at the town of Greece will collect $115.5 million, and New York State will send us approximately $12.6 million in STAR reimbursement. Okay, but we will always collect our $128.1 million. I'll get to it later. Also included in here are, just for reference, $24,817 worth of what's referred to as Section 520 assessments. So what's a 520 assessment? They're properties that had a whole or a partial exemption on them, maybe a senior limited income exemption or an enhanced STAR exemption. The property was sold, and the new people buying the house are not entitled to that exemption because they're the new owner. It gets re-levied, and those people have to pay their fair share of that prorated tax portion that gets collected from them. That's referred to as the 520 re-levies. For 24-25 last year, our tax rate was $25.11 per $1,000 of taxable assessed value. That is increasing to $25.37 per $1,000 of taxable assessed value. It's an increase of 26 cents, or just over 1%, from the prior year. As I was mentioning earlier, Monroe County is still waiting for New York State to download the STAR file. It'll provide some changes to us. It won't change the levy, but it may change the numbers from the previous slide where you could see a shift where we might be getting less from the STAR reimbursement, but we'll just have more collected by the town of Greece. So the numbers may change at the top, but the levy amount will always stay the same. We won't know that until probably the end of the week. And since this board meeting is this evening versus next week, we've done our best shot at providing the numbers we believe they're going to be. But they may change slightly, but again, it will have no impact on the rate, nor will it have an impact on the levy. So just a couple of notes regarding equalization that we wanted to bring back up. So the STAR exemption is adjusted to reflect the equalization rates. As we know, the equalization rates over the last 5 years have gone from 100% back in 21-22 to a current 2025 equalization rate of 61%. And it's decreased each year for the last 5 years. That is determined by New York State, not by the school district or by the town of Greece. In 23-24 and 24-25, there was a decrease in the basic STAR exemption only. So if you had the basic STAR, instead of having $30,000 deducted from your taxable assessment, you had something less. But if you were on the enhanced STAR, it didn't impact you in 23-24 and 24-25. In 25-26, the current year for this warrant, there will be a decrease in both the basic STAR and the enhanced STAR. Because again, the equalization rate has decreased further. And again, as mentioned, in 24-25, last year, it was 68%. We've been notified this year that it's going to 61%. And then this will further decrease the basic STAR, the enhanced STAR, and other exemptions when we get into the 26-27 school year as well. Even the veterans exemption that we recently approved will be slightly less than what we thought it was going to be in the spring because the equalization rate has gone down. I just wanted to put that out there so folks understand that. The STAR savings that people will see on their bills is the lesser of the calculated savings or the capped maximum STAR savings provided by the state. And we took a shot here of giving you an example, so should you get questions, you might be able to address it with folks who might ask you. So let's look at the basic STAR top box. In 24-25, your basic STAR was worth $23,760. It is currently worth $21,150. So your STAR exemption coming off your taxes has gone down a little bit. We also do a calculated maximum STAR. In 24-25, that calculated was $596 was the calculated STAR that could come off your tax bill. Okay, and since the maximum just beneath it was $655, residents saw $596.68 come off the basic STAR because it is the lesser of the calculated or the capped. Similar will happen in 25-26. The calculated basic STAR is $536. The maximum you can get is $597, so residents will see $536 come off, credited towards their basic STAR savings, which is down about $60 from what it was last year. On the enhanced STAR, a little bit different. Enhanced STAR in 24-25 was worth $63,100. It's now worth $58,550 off your taxable assessment. When you calculated the STAR last year in 24-25, it was $1,584 calculated. The state then says the most you can get on your enhanced star is 1574. So all residents saw 1574 because it was the lower of the calculated and the capped. That changes in 25-26. The calculated is 1485. The cap is 1574, same cap, but since the calculated is lower than the cap and you have to go with the lower, seniors will see a slight reduction in their star reimbursement by about $98, $99 for this current year. So what's that mean? We took, as we have in past years, we took a typical home that's taxable assessed value is about $200,000. When you look at the bottom line, your tax bill will go up about $112 for the same $200,000 house in 25-26 versus 24-25. Beneath that is a little bit of an explanation of why. Due to the tax rate increase from 2511 to 2537, okay, just that difference on the $200,000 taxable home, your bill will go up $52.17, just because of the rate increase. But due to the equalization rate coming down, and lower exemption amounts as a result, you're getting less of a benefit, so your bill is going to go up by $60 due to the star and the equalization. Similar is true if you have the enhanced star, your bill will go up $140 versus a basic star of $112 for the same reasons. So we are asking for approval of the tax warrant. It's as final as we can make it as of this evening. Again, the tax rate increase is about 1.04%, which is a little bit higher than what we had thought it would be last week at about 0.93%. But we're asking the board to, asking the board to recommend approving the warrant for this evening. Questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Ms. Lake?
Romeo, does this include the veterans exemption?
No. Veterans exemption will not take place until the next school year.
Okay, thanks.
This year, it did not. We said it would be for the 26, 27 school year. And then our plan would be to have a study session or two regarding that and bring the board up to date by the fall or early January as we move into applying that exemption for next year.
Thank you.
Mr. Bonnegar?
Thank you, Romeo. Please clarify for me, the $128 million levy is the amount that was approved by the voters in May?
That's correct.
Okay. So then we apply, I'll call it mechanical rules regarding equalization and the exemption amounts. We're just ratifying the process, is that?
It's a good point to make. You are ratifying and approving the levy.
Which has
And
already.
the correspondent, but the levy's already been approved, and this is formal adoption that we hand off.
Nothing really
Correct.
has changed in the process.
Correct. It is the levy that you are formally approving in written form for $128.1 million.
Thank you.
Again, the rate could change depending on what the assessed values are within the town. But whether the town collects more or the town collects less, or whether we get more back from the state or not, the levy is the levy. And we'll either get that in tax collections, star reimbursement, or reimbursed by the county during the tax collection season.
Thank you.
Mr. Butler?
Romeo, can you remind me, and I apologize if you said this already, but the change in the star exemption, is that formula-driven, or is that something that the state basically says we're going to change the star exemption to this amount?
So when we were at 100% equalization.
Okay.
The basic was worth 30,000. Now that we're at 61, it's 61% of the 30,000 is what you get as a star exemption amount. So as the equalization comes down, so does the value of that star exemption.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to 5.01, can I, Sonny, move the establishment of the 25-26 tax levy? Moved by Vice President Stenzel, second by Mr. Maloney. Any comments, questions, or concerns on that? Seeing none, all is in favor. That passes 9-0. Moving on to change orders. Can I, Sonny, move the change orders to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Butler, second by Mr. Bonagorian. Any comments, questions, or concerns? I just want to say that these change orders amount to a $38,642 savings approximately. With that, all those in favor of the change orders? That passes 9-0. Moving on to quarterly reports of service contracts in excess of $50,000. Can I so move that to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Maloney, second by Ms. Seaman. Any comments, questions, concerns on that? Seeing none, all is in favor. That passes 9-0. Moving on to anticipated bids. It's written information only. Does anybody have any questions? All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I so move the consent agenda to the table, please? Moved by Vice President Steckel, second by Ms. Farmer. Any comments, questions, concerns on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all is in favor. That passes. Were you a yes or a no, Tracy? Yes. Okay, that passes 9-0. Thank you. And moving on to superintendent comments.
That came fast. Good evening. I just wanted to start just by recognizing Tawanda Buckingham. Sean mentioned her at the start of today's board meeting, but I also wanted to recognize Tawanda and simply say just how personally blessed I am, or I feel, to have had the opportunity to know her as a person and also as a colleague. She will be truly missed, and her family will be in all of our prayers as we go forward. I also just wanted to mention summer leadership. So summer board members attended. Last week was our Summer Leadership Academy, also known as SLA. Summer Leadership Academy is a long-standing tradition in our district that I have personally participated in now for 20 years. It began in 2005. And I said this at the start of SLA last week, that the focus and topics that we have discussed through the years, it has changed. But the common thread, what I believe, is our district's commitment to professional learning and to leadership development. This year, we had close to, was it 240? 240 participants. That includes teachers and administrators. That is a significant change in how we ran summer leadership. In my 20 years here, if there was any, it was typically just administrators, and that was GASA administrators. And just recently did we start bringing in our teacher leaders. When I say teacher leaders, I'm not talking about specific title. I'm just talking about our teachers that are leaders. Additionally, we had leaders from facility and operations. We had leaders from finance department and transportation. That's a significant change, and I will say this wasn't mandated to them. This was a request, which I think stems from a lot of the work that our Department of Human Resources has done with them through the years, Gina and Jen Hendrickson, where we have informal training throughout the year and building excitement for the work that we're doing across the district, and they asked to come. So that is a significant change. A key message that was repeated throughout the entire week is that leadership is not defined by title. It's defined by influence. The influence you have to make change in protocol, in processes, behaviors, and beliefs. And that was really evident in the work that we did last week. I will say that the work that needs to get done in our district for our students, it cannot happen through directives. It doesn't happen top-down. For a lot of us, we lived through that. It will take a collective commitment from all of our stakeholders if we're going to make the transformational change that we hope to do for our students and our community in this district. I'm very proud of the planning committee that put this work together. This work started formally in January with a team of people. I will say informally, this work starts the week after SLA ends. We already are talking about what will be our focus, what will we build on, because we are continually working for coherence to build from year to year so that people understand where the work is, because this doesn't happen overnight. So coherence and continuity are critical when we look at the success of our district, and we're on that path. So I'm very proud of that team. And for those of you that did come, I'm very proud of the decorating team, because the room was ridiculous. Our theme was level up. We used that idea of video games, leveling up like you do in video games, and the room looked like an arcade. It was incredible. So I just want to publicly acknowledge the groups that put that work in. I'm excited for the work that we started and the work that we're continuing. And I will say that for this work to have the impact that I know it can have, it begins here. It begins with all of us sitting at this table, and that we model what we're asking for our teachers and our staff across this district. And I am confident that we could do that together. So, thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Smalley. Board member comments? Mrs. Farmer.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Cognitive dissonance is real. It's been a whirlwind of July filled with fun, family, and outdoor activities, as well as some work that needs to be done, including researching what schools our rising senior might be a good fit for in 2026, and then deciding which colleges and universities to visit and possibly attend. I was driving home from Saratoga Springs on Sunday, known to be the busiest travel day of the week. We were needing to stop on the route for various reasons, so noting what facilities were available at the rest stops and the roadside signs, seeing a restaurant that said they weren't open on Sundays. I thought, that's weird, the busiest travel day of the week, and they hired a restaurant. I did a quick search on Bing, found an article dated 2 years ago stating this restaurant was being told to open 7 days a week. It hasn't happened. Seems like there was probably poor research done on the selection of this restaurant to be included, and not the best choice made based on data stating that Sundays are the most heavily traveled day of the week. Research plays many and important roles in our individual lives, including where to eat when traveling. We also know institutions in our lives depend on research, including our field, the field of education, where we use ongoing academic and social, qualitative and quantitative research, anecdotal observations, surveys, tests, formative as well as summative testing, CFAs, research-based practices to provide the best teaching and learning and educational outcomes for our students. We hire the best people capable to run our district. Those are the people that we, sitting at this table, who we as board members have decided they are effective, they are well-meaning, and they know what it means to be an educator and how to plan, and as Jeremy just talked about earlier, the leadership last week. So as far as the research, this includes the science of reading, an academic example of research. The umbrella term, if you will, which includes many research-based studies to bring together best practices for improving reading instruction. Restorative justice is another practice that we use in our schools, implemented and part of our progressive discipline plan that allows our schools to maintain a balance, showing grace for students who make mistakes. Those mistakes can be corrected by students guided in ways that support positive youth development. We know that restorative work, when done as intended, goes a long way in maintaining a balanced school environment. The two examples given allow for a well-functioning school district and buildings where students achieve academically as well as socially. Of course, there are many other pieces that make our district function with practices that are central to the efficacy of education in our schools. One of the difficult pieces of restorative work is continuity. So there must be a hub, district office, that supports and works collegially with individual school buildings that then brings community to the district as a whole. That then brings continuity to the district as a whole. This also shows a commitment to students, staff, and community that this practice is honored and valued. Saying all this, last meeting we were handed a copy of a page taken from the Code of Conduct, which had missing text, no data or context included, with no time for due diligence because of timing. Yet this body voted 5-4 to eliminate the words, reduce overuse and disproportionate use of in-school and out-of-school suspensions and school discipline. Explanation given, it's just verbiage. By removing these words, this action may have started us on the path of reviving the school-to-prison pipeline, thus criminalizing children, yet can still acknowledge that there are some children who benefit from alternative placements without criminalizing. Suspensions does not make school climate better. It sets up a mouse-cat game and elevates punishment to a level that only causes students to miss out on more education. This leads to low literacy rates and a prison population full of people who can't read due to lack of consistent learning, undiagnosed issues, whether it's ADHD in females with a symptom being lack of impulse control, as current research has reported. Once diagnosed, this can be treated with research-based best practices, including guidance and counseling, social emotional. This can help move a child to understand why they may do what they do, ultimately to elicit change without the need of medication in some instances, all based on research. Another example is undiagnosed dyslexia, also research-based. Adolescent minds, brains, like their physical bodies, developing is a complex system, evolving into an adult who learn to think critically through mistakes and guidance from adults in their lives, parents, extended family, church, as well as teachers. While we find continuity to be important with academics, social and emotional work doesn't seem to hold the same significance. We are responsible for children from the beginning to the end of the school day. While they are with us, we are charged to support the whole child, their academics, physical bodies, and emotional well-being. The Board of Education, in my view, is not only to be a guardian of the community's money that allows our system to run effectively and efficiently, thank you, Romeo and team, but also to support those we represent and employ for the benefit of our students. Attempting to make decisions without prior to little notice, we can cause harm, confusion among the people we hire to teach and guide our children. This never goes well. My request is that when things of this nature are to come in front of the board, that all are informed, whether it's referencing policy number 2370, school board member request and use of district information, or email. Transparency can be done even with sunshine laws in place. I'm disheartened that we may have broken trust and caused chaos with those we are sworn to support. I'd like to request that assessment of school board operational procedures, policy number 2340, be added to the agenda for the retreat as required by our own policy. Thank you.
Board member comments? Anybody else? Mr. Butler.
Thank you. I want to say special thanks to all of the staff and teachers who have been working so hard all summer long to give great experiences to our students and enhance their learning and help them come back to school even more ready to learn than they were at the end of the school year. I want to send out a word of encouragement to those students who are currently in summer school, pushing to get there, especially those seniors who are driving to make it across that stage on August 27th. You're almost there. You can do it. You've come this far, and I'm looking forward to being there, shaking your hand. I want to say to our teachers, our administrators, our staff, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, our TOSAs, all people employed by the district, to enjoy the rest of your summer. We're looking forward to having all of you back for a successful year. And the superintendent has announced a theme of Greece Proud this year, and I just want to say I think that's a great theme. I'm a lifelong Greece resident. I'm proud of Greece. I'm proud of our students and all that they accomplish. I'm proud, and I'm especially proud of all the adults who are committed to doing first what is right for students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Ms. Falzarano?
I just would like to echo Superintendent Smalleen's words, and also echoing other board members who attended the Summer Leadership Academy. It was just inspirational to be in the presence of our staff, our teachers, our administrators, teacher leaders, regardless of title, people working together, rolling up their sleeves in real genuine, dedicated efforts for the best for our students. It was just great to behold, and it was a great time sitting alongside with our colleagues in Smalleen's Arcade. It really was quite a sight to behold. I'm really excited about the moves towards the professional learning communities and the efforts we've put towards that, as well as our 4DX as we look to improve and enhance our student achievement and working as true collaborators in buildings. Again, thank you to all who were a part of that. Again, it was a great pleasure, and I too am very proud to have been a part of that. And all the best as we launch our new school year.
Thank you, Ms. Falzarano. Any other board member comments? Mr. Bonagorio?
I would also like to echo my thanks to teachers and administrators for giving their time last week. I was fortunate to be able to make it for a little bit of the Monday session, the opening. There was so much energy in the room, and that was really great to see. So my appreciation to all who participated, and I'm sure there were some who wanted to and weren't able to, but a great effort, a lot of good work seems to have been done there, and so thank you. Thank you to all of them. I will just acknowledge that the motion that we approved last week regarding changes to the Code of Conduct were provided in advance to the Board of Education, the entire Board of Education, and let it rest. Thank you.
Any other board member comments? Good. Monica, good? Okay. I'm just going to take a moment. I'm just going to, I want to recognize somebody. I got a phone call about a week or so ago about one of our employees in the Greece Central School District who did an extraordinary thing. I have friends throughout the fire service, law enforcement, public safety communities, and right around the 4th of July, a friend of mine from Engine 10 had a call, and our deputy superintendent happened to be there. He had an individual that probably OD'd on something that Narcan revived him, so some type of an opiate product, and Mr. Fleming and I believe his brother-in-law did CPR, performed CPR on this individual, and did an amazing job till the fire department got there, and it's something I think we should recognize. I mean, bystander CPR saves lives. I'm a big proponent of it. It's a huge, people that get saved, it's because of bystanders that take the time, and a lot of people don't take the time, so I just want to recognize Mr. Fleming, because a lot of people would have walked away. And with that, by the time we meet the next time, our student athletes will all be on the field starting their practicing for the fall, so I'm looking super forward to that. And with that, Mr. Maloney, it's your time to shine.
And I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second? Vice President Stenzel, all those in favor? That passes 9-0. Thank you, everyone.